Set in a small town called 6 Mile Hill, we will be introduced named Eugene, William, Claire, who were visited by several tourists who were exploring the local legend of Dracula of Hartak. Eugene also offered himself to accompany the tourists in return. The local community believes that the tomb is very sacred and respectful. The tourists were told by William that there was a mysterious voice under the rocks. He approached the hearing to the rock. However,
You fucking pricks!
The tourists were tricked by Eugene's friend named SP. Eugene is a contractor. He and his father, Francie, have a job, namely widening roads, and it is said that stones that are considered sacred will be dismantled. He was worried about the vampire curse, but Eugene still did his job because his father forced him. This old man is George, William's father, Eugene's friend. They have been close for a long time. William asked Eugene to meet him at the bar tonight. It turned out that William said he would leave England for Australia to get the job he had always wanted. Because of that, they celebrated by drinking until they were drunk. On the way home, Eugene offered a shortcut to get to their house quickly through the fields. In the middle of the journey, Eugene expressed his feelings that William might not fit in with the people in Australia and said that William was a loser who did not love his homeland. Hearing this, they fought until William was pushed to Dracula's rock, which caused his hand to bleed. Eugene helped William stand up, but not long after a cow appeared from behind and gored William's stomach until it was torn, which caused William to die. George, who witnessed his son's death, was sad. The next day, the police asked for his statement and William's body was buried properly. Meanwhile, Eugene and SP ordered drinks at the bar. They were thrown out by the bar owner because there was news that Eugene would dismantle the Dracula stone, which the residents believed was sacred. The bar owner emphasized that all the residents in this small town strongly believed that if the stone was dismantled, a great disaster would occur. The day of the tomb dismantling arrived. George asked Eugene if he saw anything strange that night. Eugene replied that he did not feel anything strange. George advised him not to dismantle the tomb. He was worried that something bad would happen to him. Eugene did not listen to the advice. He immediately used heavy equipment to destroy the sacred stone until it was level with the ground. SP was disappointed because no one jumped into the stone. Eugene then gave the task to another worker named Charlie and gave him a little vodka to warm him up. That night, Charlie heard a strange sound outside and rushed to check it out, but there was nothing suspicious, so he went inside. But the next morning, when everyone was going to continue their work, they were all surprised because the stones that Eugene had destroyed yesterday were now neatly arranged again. Francie thought this was Charlie's doing because he was not in his guard post now. Night fell, but there was no sign of Charlie, until Charlie came with a pale face and an unhealthy body. So Francie told Eugene to take Charlie to the doctor. When they were in the car, Charlie pounced on Eugene so that he crashed his father's car. The lights in the workplace suddenly went out. Francie suggested that they all split up into teams and quickly find Charlie. Eugene and Clary found Charlie, who looked like a zombie. He attacked Eugene with full emotion. Clary hit him with a stick so that Charlie turned to chase and climbed the table. Fortunately, Clary managed to stab his heart, which caused Charlie to die. Meanwhile, Francie and SP found a body that might have been killed by someone, so they gathered again. They were shocked because they saw Charlie, who should have died because his heart had been stabbed, was still alive and intended to eat them. Francie was not afraid. She pushed the stick that penetrated her chest and pushed Charlie into the hole. Charlie was still alive and tried to climb out of the hole. Clary had an idea, namely to bury Charlie with soil and cover it with the excavation. But the story is not over yet. People's blood flows again on the ground. Now Charlie's feet prove that she will rise, so they all run to George's house. Eugene called the local police to check their workplace, but the police told Eugene to make a report first. Feeling that they could not be relied on, they went to check it themselves by taking George's car. However, when Eugene was in the car, he found the bottle that he gave to Charlie. Realizing this, he returned to George's house and found a goat that was going to be cremated. Maybe it was an offering. They met George and asked for an explanation of why Charlie's bottle was in George's car and everything they found. George felt threatened and pointed a gun at them. George asked Eugene if he saw anything strange that night. He was taken with the aim of showing something, and apparently it was William, who had now turned into a living corpse. Eugene looked sad about the incident. George tells the story of William's early rise. When he was about to be cremated, William's body suddenly rose. He locked William up and intended to bury William, who had turned into a living corpse because he was scratched by a pile of cursed stones. George said that the stone could turn humans into living corpses. He experimented on Charlie by killing him and scratching the cursed stone on Charlie, which turned him into a living corpse. They start looking for a way to kill William by reading the world's #1 vampire killer guide. George plans to crush William's head with Eugene as bait so that William will chase him, and George prepares to hit his head behind the door. Eugene approached William and unlocked it so that William chased him. But when he arrived at his destination, William did not enter. Instead, he waited in front of the door, as if he knew their plan. Clary also helped lure William into their trap, but at that time George did not succeed in killing William because his loving mother shot George instead of her own son, which resulted in William immediately killing his mother. They all ran to the car, but the keys weren't there, and William appeared to be outside waiting for them. George shot at William and detained him. He intended to commit suicide, but his gun ran out of bullets.
Goodbye, son. Oh, fuck.
They all hide from William's pursuit. SP hides in the crematorium and surprises William by fighting him and pushing him into the coffin. They all rush to push William into the coffin, but SP got a wound on his stomach. The wound was quite deep and very severe. SP was very sure that this was his last death, so he said goodbye to his friends, especially Eugene. Once sad and frustrated because his friend died, Eugene was scolded by his father and was encouraged again by him. They managed to bury William's living corpse. Meanwhile, in the city, the residents began to bleed from their bodies. With just a stone, Francie felt she couldn't stand it. Because of that, she went to get an excavator. In the middle of the journey, they found someone lying with a bloody nose. They went in and helped him. Not wanting many victims, Eugene knew where he was hiding, and finally, to stop all these incidents, namely going to the tomb of the pile of stones of Abertac and destroying it. They both rushed. Francie saw that something was going to appear, but instead she hit Eugene so that he fainted and became unconscious, dragging Eugene and covering him. Apparently Francie intended to fight the vampire alone. She didn't want her beloved child to die a terrible death. Francie sneaks up and sees the monster coming. She swings the axe towards its neck so that its neck is cut off. She also deserves to wake up Eugene, who is unconscious, and tell him that he has defeated the Abertac vampire with his own hands. But Francie does not realize that the vampire has come back to life and pulls her back, throws Francie and axes her leg so that it is injured. Fortunately, there is Eugene pulling Francie out using the drain, and rushing away from the place. They went across and closed the warehouse door, but Francie fell into the hole. Eugene helped his father and saw the vampire. Unlike other vampires, he was not killed by sunlight. Surprised because the vampire did not die from sunlight, Eugene pulled his father to hide from the pursuit of the vampire, who was looking for them. Eugene said that he needed a weapon to fight the vampire. Francie suggested using his almost severed leg as the only tool Eugene could use to defend himself and fight the vampire. Eugene pulled Francie's leg as hard as he could with the monster coming. Eugene managed to plant Francie's father's leg, which made him stab his heart. With his reflex, Eugene buried the vampire, which made him unable to rise again, and the story ended.